Hey guys, what's going on? Dave McRae here. What's happening? It is Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. We seem to be okay. The stream was lagging there for a second. Let me just see if let me see. Is the stream still? I think we're okay. There's a little bit of a lag there. Just testing out a few things. It says we're okay. It says we're live. It says the stream is good. So maybe whatever issues it was worked itself out. Sometimes those things happen. Maybe everybody and their aunt is having a New Year's live feed today. I have absolutely, unequivocally no idea. So yes, Happy New Year to you guys. I thought I would jump on here and just, talk to you guys, see how you guys are doing. And what's going on? The Roaring 20s are here again. Yes, they are. It is, Wednesday today. Wednesday, January 1st, 2020 or 2020, depending on how you guys are going to be able to, that stream is, for some reason the stream is going in and out a little bit. I don't know why the stream's doing that, but, oh, wait a minute. Wait. There we are. Okay, yes, we are. It says we're good. It says we're good. I don't know what was going on there, but it says let me close all these windows here so I don't have to mess around. And I'll close that one too. So it says the stream is good, which is always good. Let me go back to see what it looks like as it's broadcasting. Yeah, it says it looks all right. 61 people watching. Pretty good for a 4:30 afternoon PM Eastern Standard Time. Everybody's saying Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you guys as well. Michael Finlay. We got Guillermo Medina, Mark Warling, Gary Sim, Michelle Larsh, and we got Matt Breton. Hopefully I'm saying DMT Infinity, E_S18, Terrell Sims, Cody, is it Snyder or Schneider? No, it depends how you want to look at it, I guess. Great to see you guys here in the chat. This is impromptu, of course, unplanned. Just thought I would jump on and talk to you guys and see how you guys are doing and see what your new year is like. Maybe more people will join us as we roll along here for a little bit. My New Year's was pretty good. Nothing too crazy, low key, but always good, always good. It's hard to believe that we are now in the year 2020. And for those of you that are old enough to remember, of course, the turn of the century 20 years ago, it's hard to believe that was 20 years ago now, and the whole Y2K fiasco and all that kind of jazz. And certainly when you would say the year 2000, it did sound futuristic at the time, but I guess because we've been in the 2000s now for 20 years, that the novelty has kind of worn off, right? And to say like 1990 something sounds so long ago. Well, it is. And yesterday, as I was thinking about New Year's and everything, I was like, wow, 2020. Now I don't know if I'm going to end up saying, I tend to be a little more formal with my dates. I don't know if it's because I don't know. I just I'm the kind of person that I never really said 2019, 2018, 2017. I always said 2019, 2018, 2017. So I think I'll probably end up still saying 2020. Even though I don't really have to anymore, because obviously I can, just say 2020. I mean, in the 2000s, you kind of had to say 2009. I mean, to say 2009 just kind of sounded weird. So I think most of us back then probably said, 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5. But once the 2010s hit, a lot of people were saying, 2011, 2012. It's almost like the short version of saying 2000 something, which I guess in some ways is. But anyway, the point I'm making is that 2020 sounds so futuristic. And it sounds almost more futuristic than 2000 did or 2001. There's something about saying 2020 that just sounds, kind of. And funny enough, when you think of the news program 2020, Barbara Walters, I guess I'd never really associated it with the date. So whenever Barbara Walters or anybody on the, program would say, this is 2020 or next time on 2020, it for some reason, it just was the name of the show. Like you didn't really associate it with a year, at least I didn't. So it's kind of funny now that, now it's a year, and to say it out loud in that context sounds very futuristic. It's interesting. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but certainly it's kind of weird to say 2020. Do you guys think you'll say 2020? Or do you think you'll say 2020? I think a lot of people tend to kind of say the shorter version, right? 2019, 2018. I'm a formal kind of guy. I like, it sounds more like concrete. This is the year 2020. It's that 1,000 part, right? 2,000. It's that 1,000. Like if you ever watch Jeopardy, right? The announcer of Jeopardy, whenever they're announcing the champion's previous day earnings, he'll always emphasize the 1,000. He'll say something like, let's say the champion's name is Julie Johnson, let's say, and Julie Johnson's previous day winnings are $32,400. He really emphasizes the 1,000. It just sounds so much, 1,000. You know what I mean? So for me, I think I'm going to end up saying 2020. It's like, wow. Happy New Year to you guys. What do we got? 2020 Scream, 2020, 2020, 2020. A lot of 2020s. Yeah, most people I think are going to say that. But I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a voice actor and I tend, and that announcery sort of side of me maybe will it just seems more official to me. That's what it is. If I say the date today is Wednesday, January the 1st, 2020, it just feels more official. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's see here. Undead Productions HD says, how's Dylan's new nightmare coming along? Well, I'm not a producer on the film. I'm just an actor. So, but I can say that they definitely were able to raise the funds in order to make the full film, which is great. It's a short film, of course. It'll probably end up being anywhere between 25, 30 minutes long, ballpark. And they have now moved into the early stages of pre-production. So from my understanding is that we go to camera sometime in the early spring, maybe end of March, beginning of April, maybe May, but I think the target is like end of March, beginning of April, but that all depends on how pre-production goes. So fingers crossed that pre-production goes well, and that's when I'll fly down to Phoenix and don the Freddy Krueger makeup. And I'm really excited about it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Tabitha Short is here. Hey, Tabitha, how are you? Happy New Year to you and your husband and Austin. I hope you guys had a wonderful night last night. Josh John says, Dave, you watch any of the Winter Classic, amazing hockey event? Funny enough, no. I know it's like, but Dave, you're a Canadian. You should be watching hockey every day, all day, every time. But I haven't really. I mean, I know that Canada got their asses handed to them by Russia 6-0. But then I think Canada turned around and beat, who did they beat the other day? 7-2, the Czechs or something like that. And then it could be set up for a Russia-Canada rematch in the semis. I mean, I'm aware of it, but I haven't really been watching it. No, I've been kind of just watching more holiday stuff and Christmas stuff and kind of taking it easy that way. Let's see here. E_S18 says, Dave, most anticipated movies for this year: Halloween Kills, Scream, etc. Is Scream coming this year? I know they were talking about doing it, but has that been confirmed? I mean, confirmed that they are doing a fifth film and it's coming this year. Not speculation, not rumors, not this is what we're, but actually confirmed. Is there a production start date? Because if there is, I was unaware of that. I mean, I'm aware that they were thinking about doing it. Most anticipated movies for me. It's a great question. I mean, Halloween's anticipated because I'm a Halloween guy. And even the movies that I don't like, I always enjoy, anything related to Halloween because I enjoy watching the process. I enjoy learning about the where they are in their heads. I enjoy learning about the mythology and the lore from one, timeline to the next. So like even with, Halloween 5, for example, I can watch an entire documentary dedicated to Part 5 and all the behind the scenes and the ins and outs and the shenanigans and all that, because I find it genuinely interesting. So, I mean, Halloween will always be anticipated for me because I enjoy Halloween, but I can't say it's my most anticipated. I'd have to look at what's coming. But certainly I am curious to see where they go with it. I mean, as we all are. And as somebody that had I had mixed to unfavorable feelings on Halloween 2018. I didn't hate the movie. I didn't hate it. I mean, there were, many things in there that I thought were very well done. And obviously I know how hard it is to make a movie. But there were just, as you guys know, a lot of the creative decisions and choices I just didn't agree with. But certainly, I'm very curious to see where they take it. And with a name like Halloween Kills and the fact that this is a direct sequel, it's going to be bloodier and gorier and more intense. 100%. Ethan LeBlanc sends in a super chat. Thank you, buddy. Happy New Year to you too, Ethan, for sending in that super chat. I really appreciate it. Dave, do you like that Kylo... Okay, well, this is a spoiler, but nonetheless, it's there, so there you go. But the movie's been out for a couple of weeks now, so nonetheless, it's not really, it is what it is. Do I like that Kylo Ren died? Well, this is something that I will answer. Yes, I do, because I think it's important that it is part of his sacrifice. I mean, listen, Darth Vader had to die. He had to die. He killed billions of people. Of innocent people. He had to die. Kylo Ren has killed billions of people. Maybe not quite as many as his grandfather, but he killed a lot of people. I mean, we saw all those planets blow up in The Force Awakens. And who knows what else was going on prior to that. He murdered millions, billions of people. Yes, he had to die. It's one of the reasons why if I was to, and you guys know me, I actually really enjoyed The Rise of Skywalker. And there's specific reasons to why. I thought it was, it was good. I enjoyed it. But if I was sitting in a room with J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, and they had said, okay, we're going to have Rey and Kylo, kiss at the end of the movie. And it wasn't like this big romantic thing or anything like that. It wasn't like that. It was just I would have said no. I say, no, let's not do it. You can have him smile. You can have her show appreciation through her eyes and through like, oh my God, Ben, it's you, right? And you can have him, smile, and then he dies. And that's how I think it should have been done. I don't think they should have. I think the kiss was just to please, the Reylo fans, which I think is completely unnecessary. I mean, this is a murderer that killed billions of people, that murdered Han Solo, fuck Han Solo. He murdered billions of people. You know what I mean? Like on top of that. So, the kiss is a little like, okay, like eventually I'll, get over it. But that's a creative decision that I probably would have been like, okay, we can go this far, but let's kind of pull back a bit. But it doesn't ruin the movie or anything like that. It's just a little thing that I, would have done a bit differently. But yes, he had to go. He was redeemed, but his punishment, his okay, you can come back, but you gotta go. Like, I'm sorry, but you gotta go. So it's one of the reasons why I feel okay about it. That I feel, because I said to you that I didn't want Kylo, I said a while ago that I didn't want Kylo to be redeemed. But what I meant by redeemed was fully redeemed as if nothing happened. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's redeemed and then he's okay. Like, he's redeemed and he's welcomed back, into the Resistance. And, everybody, like, talk about an awkward reunion. Like, what the fuck is Chewie gonna say? Like, oh, hey, Chewie, what's going on? Like, I mean, you can't go back. When you go so far, you cannot go back. There is no return. So that was my worry, that he was going to be redeemed, but like actually like welcomed back and he's alive and everything's okay. That I did not want. I'm like, oh, no. He's got to go the way of Vader. I mean, he has to. He's got to pay for his sins, essentially, right? He has to. You know, I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. You're a murderer. So that's why I was okay with it. And his arc, his emotional arc, and the depths of his emotional arc with his father and things like that was spot on. Okay, let's see here. Yes, Happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year to everybody. Great for you guys to tune in this afternoon. Brandon Barry sends in a super chat. Thank you, buddy. Dave, are you interested in Chris Rock's Saw movie? Not particularly, because I only liked the first Saw anyway. So I didn't particularly like any of the sequels. I just thought they got more and more ridiculous, and it just the novelty wore off. You know, and it was just more about what other crazy, fucked up, wild, insane ways can we, you know, and it's just like, okay, but, you know, once you've kind of seen it, you've seen it kind of thing. The first Saw was amazing. I remember seeing that in the theater years ago in 2004 with my buddy Joe and his girlfriend at the time. And that was great. And I remember the ending when, you know, spoiler alert, but, you know, come on. When Jigsaw gets up from the floor, like, oh, fuck, he's been on the floor the whole fucking time. It was awesome. I loved that. I watched Saw 2 and I was like, okay. And then I saw 3 and 4 and I was like, hey, this is like, it's done now. Like, it's, you know. So the Saw franchise as a whole, yeah. Chris Rock doing it, okay, that's interesting, what he's going to do, but I'm not particularly excited about it. I couldn't care less whether he did it or not. Mark Warling, $2 super chat. Thank you, buddy. Much appreciated. NJS says, it was hard to be truly focused and connected with the movie with the excessive swipe cuts. With all due respect, I think that's a bit of a nitpick because I didn't notice any excessive swipe cuts, and if you go back to the prequel films and even the original films, there's a lot of swipe cuts in there as well. So I respect your view, but didn't really faze me at all. I didn't notice anything excessive. At least no more so than you get in most Star Wars movies. Certainly the prequels, they had a lot of, they were up, down, this, all over the place. Let's see here. Terrell Sim says, how would you feel if Freddy had a cannibalistic-esque scene in a nightmare film? Do you think that would be cool, eerie, or stupid? I think it would be shocking and no one would expect it. I think that's an interesting thing to explore. But, you know, I think it all comes down to what's the kind of Freddy you want. Right? You know, if they're going to reboot Freddy in a series or a feature film, whether it's Robert Englund or not, the fundamental question is, what kind of Freddy do we want? Because if we want, you know, funky MTV Freddy from Elm Street 4, well, if you have a cannibalistic kind of scene in that kind of a movie, then it's going to be probably funny. And it's not going to be taken seriously. And he's going to be going, look at the big toe, you know, and doing all, like, you know, because that is sort of like, look at that dinner scene in A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, I think it was, where he's there like stuffing, you know, the girl's face, and he's like, oh, open wide, like the whole thing is just it's a carnival act. It's just complete satire spoof shit, right? So at face value, yes, that's kind of cool. But if a cannibalistic-esque scene was in that kind of a Freddy film, it would just be played off for jokes, for gags, right? But if it was in a serious Freddy movie, like the first Elm Street or even the second one, a very serious movie, it could be quite frightening. So we can't put the cart before the horse. So really, the question comes down to, you know, what type of Freddy do we want? I know what type of Freddy I want, but what type of Freddy do we want, right? Does the collective, like, do we want? And then that'll dictate what kind of, you know, whether you do that and what kind of scene that would be. That's cool, though. That's a good thought, a good question. Let's see here. Julian Salgadeo. Salgado? Am I saying that right? Probably not. Hey, Dave, what are your thoughts on Paul Rudd? Do you think he'll have a big role in the new Ghostbusters? neutral to Paul Rudd. I don't hate him. I don't love him. I can take him, leave him. I mean, he's just one of those sort of, 40-something faces that you just know. You know what I mean? Like, he's fine. And do I think he'll have a big role in the new Ghostbusters? I think his role will be, I think, because he's the teacher, right? So I don't think he'll be the star, but I think he'll be a nice complimentary role to the kids, very much like some of the teachers are. I think he'll have a bigger part than the science teacher in Stranger Things. But I think his role, because he's sort of the one with maybe some of the answers, right? And then he might kind of show up and kind of be out of his element or something to that degree. So I'm looking forward to it. Let's see here. What do we got? Let me scroll back. Scrolling. 132 people watching on this Wednesday, January the 1st, 2020. For those of you that have been watching since the beginning, you'd know why I emphasize that. Frank Riker is here. Happy New Year, Frank. Ryan McHenry. Hello, Dave. What do you hope to see happen this year? What do I hope to see happen this year? Like, just in general? Or for me? Or what do I hope to see happen this year? Just, well, you know what? I'll just answer this in a sort of general way. I just hope that everybody, you included, everybody in the chat included, I hope that we all can have as successful and as happy a year as possible. Life is not easy, right? I mean, it can be a very difficult thing for a lot of people. So I just hope that we all can have as much success as possible. And what that means, what success means, is very, individually specific. I mean, maybe success to you is, reconnecting with your family more. Maybe it's reconnecting with your children more. Maybe it's starting a YouTube channel, right? Maybe it's going after that promotion. Maybe it's, whatever the case is, whatever success is to you, I hope you guys achieve it. You got to work hard. One of the things I love are these quotes and memes that I see a lot. And in principle, I mean, it's true what the quote and meme means and says. I mean, it absolutely is true. But I kind of laugh because it's like, well, yes, but we still got to put ourselves out there and do something. Like I see a lot of these great memes and, quotes about how, something like, it's going to come to you and, you're meant to do this and it will. Well, yes, that might be true, but we still have to get off our asses and work hard. Like, we can't just go, yes, I'm just going to believe. It's like, well, yeah, but you still gotta put yourself out there. You know what I mean? So if there's something you want to go after, yes, you gotta believe you can do it. You gotta believe you have the talent or the skill or the tenacity or whatever it is to achieve it. But you still got to get up and go out and, and try and get it. It's not going to come to you, right? So I just hope everybody has a successful year, as successful as possible. And we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes for everybody. Mark Warling sends in a super chat. Thank you, Mark, once again. Says, have you seen Dr. Sleep yet? Thoughts on the movie? I have not seen Dr. Sleep yet. It's one of those movies that I just didn't get around to seeing because I was so busy. So I am looking forward to seeing it because obviously it is a sequel to one of my favorite psychological horror films of all time, in The Shining. And I hear it's actually quite good. Now, I have some thoughts on why people sort of think that, but I will reserve my judgment on that when I actually have a chance to see the movie. Let's see here. Jason Willie says, will John Carpenter create more new themes for Halloween Kills and Ends? Yes, I believe he is. But it won't just be him. It'll be him and his kid. Him and his kid. Did I say that? Wiley. Is it Wiley? Why is that not coming up? I think I said that right. Where'd you go? I can't find you now. Sorry if I said your name wrong there, Jason. Let me know in the chat if I did, because for some reason, I think I said it wrong again. I'm trying to read these fast, and sometimes because of the font I have up in the chat, I gotta change the font. It might be Willie, but it might look like a Wiley. Let me see here. Indie Flick Jim says, "Hey Dave, Happy New Year. Did you see Dr. Sleep?" I haven't seen it yet. Deadshot Ninja says, we here? Oh no, wait, we're back. We're back. Sorry guys, we froze there for just a second. We froze, but we are back. I don't know what happened there, but we're back. Here, let me reread the question in case something happened. It was from, where'd it go? Yes, Dave, Happy New Year from Deadshot Ninja. Dave, Happy New Year. I also enjoy voice acting. Awesome. Yes, voiceover is one of the most important parts of the entertainment and corporate industries, but it's sadly often misunderstood, unappreciated, and unrecognized. And that's largely because voice actors are always heard but rarely seen. And I say rarely because there are instances where you can see them, but very, very few. So it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it's huge. I mean, it's very important. Now, I mean, obviously, right? So, yeah. Cool that you enjoy it. Let me see here. Wayne Downey says, what did you think of the New York Times, the No Time to Die trailer? I liked it. Now, I admit that I haven't seen the previous James Bond movie. I did see the one before this one was Spectre, right? I didn't see that one, but I did see the one before that one in the theater, and I really enjoyed it. What was that one called again? The one before that one? Why am I blanking on it? Anyways, the chat room will tell me. I like that one. And I probably will go see this one because it's Daniel Craig's last, go around as James Bond. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Let me see. Skyfall. That's it. Thank you, Wayne. Yeah, Skyfall. Boom, 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 boom. Let me see here. Scrolling. Jason follows up with, hope you and your lady had a lovely Christmas over in Canada. How was the weather? Do you get any Inuits or Huskies around your neck of the woods? No, I don't know if you're being sarcastic. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that perhaps you maybe are. But Canada is, no, we don't. I live in Toronto, Canada, Toronto, Ontario, which is like the Midwest of the U.S. And obviously we are a four-seasoned country with big cities and metropolis and neighborhoods and towns and hot summers. And no, the only area of Canada where you would see the Inuit and the Huskies would be up in like the Yukon, Yellowknife, like very, very northern Canada where like hardly anybody lives. But if you're in Ontario or Alberta or BC or, it's just like living, essentially it's just like living in the US, I mean, in certain parts of the US, like the Midwest to the East Coast, right? 4 seasons, we get hot summers, cold winters, beautiful autumns, great springs, and Toronto is the 4th largest city in North America. So it's, no dog sleds around here, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that maybe you were just kind of, but you never know. I've ran into some people, some people like, so man, you get it's all like, do you live in igloos or no. Oh, okay, Jason, Dave, you can say my surname like Wile Coyote or Willy Wonka. Either I can say it either or. Okay, I have to. I have the font set in a certain font, and the E, it blends in with the Y a bit, so it looks like Willy sometimes to me, which is why I've often called you that. But what the hell, Wiley, Willy, Wooly, whatever, right, Jason? Okay, yeah, I figured you were being sarcastic. Yeah. Darren Sands is here. Hey, Dave, with regards to trailers, how do you feel about the lack of voiceover these days? In the 80s and 90s, voiceovers told the story. Now it's just left to the editing. Yeah, you know what? I mean, as a voice actor, obviously I've done trailers, but I sort of sprung onto the scene professionally when the trailer voiceover, the, In a World and all that kind of stuff, was sort of being ushered out a bit. Because now I've been fortunate enough that I've been able to do some, and I still do. But had I sprung onto the scene in the 80s or the 90s, I mean, I probably would have been. It may have been my, bread and butter. It would have been really awesome. But once the late 90s, early 2000s hit, they started to sort of get rid of that. There's a number of factors of why that could be. I mean, cost is one. Obviously they have to hire a voice actor and things like that. And also, telling the story. I know that sometimes, marketing changes, and sometimes what ended up. And again, I'm not saying that this is exact. There's no doubt a multiple of reasons why, the studios and the marketing companies have decided to sort of go this way, and maybe it'll come back again. But I do know the trailer voiceover started to become almost a caricature in itself, and people were making fun of it, not in a nasty way, but in a funny way. Like, there were a lot of people doing, their own version of it, comedians that were doing it and this kind of thing. So it almost became like a caricature. It almost stood out too much. It almost became almost cheesy, even though it wasn't cheesy. So I have a feeling that was sort of part of it. Kind of like it was becoming sort of, we don't need this anymore. Maybe it's kind of a little hokey, and we don't, in a world and blah, blah, blah. So they've decided to just use text, or just let the actual, as Darren says, they cut the trailer in a way that tells a story in and of itself with, oh, wait. Oh, we're back. Are we back? Sorry, my stream got funky there. I don't know why my stream is getting funky. Maybe it's OBS. Who knows? But it says I'm okay. So could be New Year's. Who knows? But yeah. So I do know that they naturally now will cut trailers to really sort of tell a story within that 2.5 minutes without the use of voiceover. And instead of using voiceover, they may just use text. It's cheaper. You don't have to pay the voice actor. And obviously, if you're union, you get residuals every time it airs, which can also cost. So it depends. It depends. There's many reasons why. I wish they did do it more, because obviously I love doing it in the ones that I've done. And they're fun to do. But yeah, no, it's too bad we don't see more of that. Maybe it'll come back, right? Maybe it'll come back. Let's see. Wait, did I miss a super chat? I don't think I did. For some reason, I feel like I did. No, the last one was Mark Warling. Have you seen Dr. Sleep? Thoughts on the movie? Okay, no, cool. Always got. Oh, wait, here's one that came in. Macca525, thank you, buddy. Says, hi, Dave. Happy New Year. You watched Irishman yet? Thoughts? Yes! I watched The Irishman with my girlfriend yesterday. That's what we decided to do early on in the afternoon, yesterday afternoon, because obviously it's 3 hours long, 3.5 hours long. We loved it. We thought it was great. It was just so great to see De Niro and Pacino and Pesci, in those roles, because they are legends of the industry. They're some of the greatest actors that have ever lived, that are living today still, and that will have ever lived. And to see them presumably one last time, I don't mean one last time ever on screen, but certainly probably the last time together in a movie together, directed by one of the titans, in Martin Scorsese, in a typical mob kind of movie based on true, events, is something that was just a spectacle to see. And they were great. And Pesci didn't miss a beat. I mean, let's not forget that Joe Pesci had been retired for many years. I mean, I think the last movie he did was, I believe, The Good Shepherd in 2008, which was directed by De Niro. And I believe one of the reasons why he did that then was as a favor to his friend, Robert De Niro. So to see him come out of retire and not miss a beat, he was fantastic. And Pacino was great. And this was the first time that Scorsese was directing Pacino. In all the years, he had never directed Pacino. Incredible. Amazing. So that was awesome to see, and I thought he was great. And just the performances were, and the de-aging technology was all right. It was a little, when we first see it, because when we first see De Niro as old, I don't think that's the same technology. I think that they've made him, through actual practical makeup, to look old. And then when we cut to De Niro and Pesci and the two wives traveling in that car, for those of you that have seen it, that's how old they look now. Like, that's really how old they are now. So I don't think there was anything going on there as far as I know. But then when it cuts and you see De Niro in that truck, and it's clearly that he looks younger, at first it was like, okay. But you got used to it pretty quick. It was all right. Like, I totally bought it, you know? There is something in the eyes because that throws you off a little bit when it comes to De Niro, because I believe they changed the color of his eyes. So definitely there was something funky going on there at times, but it almost added to it in some way because of the character, and it was kind of, he had like this mysterious kind of vibe about it. I don't know, it was kind of cool. Anyway, love the story, learned a lot, obviously. I mean, there's obviously some things that I know about Hoffa and all that kind of thing, but it was interesting to watch, and just the performances were great. And it would not, I'd be surprised if it won Best Picture. I think it's good enough to win, but I don't think it's good enough in the sense that it's blowing every other movie out of the, like, I wasn't blown away by it. Like, I still think The Joker is just as good, if not better. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's not like, oh, The Irishman blows The Joker out, or The Joker blows The Irishman, and other films as well. Like, you know, whether you're talking about, you know, The Peanut Butter Falcon or like a lot of shit. Like, there's a lot of films in there that are probably, even Marriage Story with Adam Driver, that, you know, I mean, like, there's, do you know what I mean? Like, it's really good, and I could see it totally being there, but whether it's gonna just like sweep the board, I don't know. But I'd be very surprised if Pesci, De Niro, and Pacino all do not get at least nominated. I thought they were fantastic. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Super Chat also comes in from William Long. Thank you, William. Much appreciated. It says, Happy New Year, Dave. Hope it brings you nothing but the best, my friend. Same to you, buddy. Any movie you're especially hyped for this year? For me, it's Christopher Nolan's Tenet. Nolan is, I always want to say Tenet. Tenet. Nolan is a brilliant director. Well, he has definitely proven to have a very distinct style and directing sensibility. Now, I haven't liked every movie he's done. And, you know, Nolan, unless he decides to make one movie every 10 years, which he's not doing, there will be a misstep somewhere. That's just the nature of probability, that the more movies you make, eventually you're going to have one that's like, you know. Now, I know that some people felt that Dunkirk was that movie. Yeah, it was okay, it was good. But, you know, because you dish out so many really intense, really good movies, the expectations are very high. So because the expectations are very high, even if he was to deliver a pretty good movie, it might feel like a letdown, even though it's pretty good, because your expectation is so high. So always go into these kinds of movies just, you know, okay, let me just, you know, set the bar here and kind of, because I think then you could enjoy it a bit more. Certainly for those of you that watched The Rise of Skywalker and that in IMAX, they played that like 5-minute prologue, which was typical Nolan. I mean, it looked really good. Personally, I think that, you know, to show that every time, like I saw The Rise of Skywalker twice in IMAX, and I was like, oh God, I gotta watch that again. I mean, it's cool, it's fine, but it's like, do I have to watch this whole thing over again? I think they just played it once. But anyway, it's a prologue, it's a promo for Tenet, but it's also a promo and advertising for IMAX. So I get why they play it all the time. But nonetheless, yeah, that is definitely one that is on the radar. Halloween Kills, of course, but when I say that, it's not my most anticipated movie. It's way down here. But it's one that, like I said at the beginning of the stream, because I'm a Halloween guy, I enjoy Halloween. I definitely will enjoy, I'm looking forward to anything Halloween related, better or, you know, for better or worse. What else? I'm not too sure. I wonder if Google could. Hey, Google, what are some movies coming out in 2020?
I found a list on the website firstshowing.net. 2020 schedule. Here are the first 4. January 17th, Bad Boys for Life. February 7th, Birds of Prey, The Emancipation of Harley Quinn. March 6th, Pixar's Onward. And May 12th, Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah.
Hear more?
Yes.
Alright, here's 4 more. June 5th, Wonder Woman 1984. July 10th, Ghostbusters Afterlife. August 7th, and September 4th.
Okay.
To see the whole list, follow the link I just sent to your phone.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Google. Yes, of course, Ghostbusters. Of course. Ghostbusters would be on my list 100%, absolutely, because I'm very curious to see how they're going to present this new sequel in the Ghostbusters original timeline, picking up after the 1989 sequel. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure if I went to a site and I'd be like, oh, yeah. But I don't know. I ironically, although I'm a movie guy, I don't go to the theater a lot. Like, it takes me a lot to go to the theater. I really got to want to see it. I don't just go just to see a movie anymore. As a teenager, I did. But now I'm just like, I really got to, it's a movie that's really got to get me out there to see it. But Tenet is definitely one that I'm looking forward to. Super chat comes in from Mark Warling, excuse me. Thanks, buddy. First time you saw 78 Halloween, how did you feel? Well, the first time I saw Halloween, the original, was probably about 35, 36 years ago. So I can't really remember in any great detail. It was probably about 1984, 85, somewhere around there. But I remember... What I do remember is that my brother Neil was the one that sold me on it. Because naturally, because after Halloween 2 in 1981, as you've heard me say, Michael Myers did not run the 1980s. The two characters that ran the 1980s in horror were Freddy and Jason. They dominated the 1980s and pop culture. They were the big daddies on the block. Michael Myers, nobody gave a fuck about Michael Myers because he was in Halloween 2's 1981, or 1981's Halloween 2, and then we didn't see him again until 1988. There was 7 years there, right? 7 years there where he was non-existent. And in that time, we had like 5 Friday the 13th, 4 Elm Streets, and it was insane. So Freddy was, I think, my first introduction into the world of horror, followed by Jason. And then my brother Neil, my older brother Neil, was a big Halloween fan. And I believe he was a big Halloween fan because the original Halloween was the first horror movie he had watched that didn't give him nightmares. At least that's the story he tells. So he's like, Dave, you got to watch this movie. It's so cool. Halloween and, this mask and the music. And I was probably, 4 or 5 or something like that. And that's when I watched it. I can't remember the feeling, but I definitely remember loving the character. I loved the mystery of Michael. And even though I didn't understand what nuance meant, or I couldn't intellectualize, how we can today as adults, I knew the feeling that I loved about this character was the nuance of the character, was the mystery and the mystique, and he was creepy and popping up, but so eerie, and who is he? And of course, at 5 years old, you can't verbalize that, but I definitely know that is probably what I liked about it, even though I can't recall a specific memory. So, but yeah, it was probably 1984, 85. It's probably the first time I watched it. And I might have even been Halloween 2. I mean, the second one might have even been the first one I watched and then went back, because I think that's what happened with Elm Street. I think I might have seen the second Elm Street first and then went back and watched the first one. I think that might have been true, although I'm not sure. Let me see. Zach Axiola at Dave McRae. I've made an entire re-edit of Saw, The Last Jedi, so I could fix Luke's character. Oh, sorry. SW, The Last Jedi. Excuse me. So I could fix Luke's character's motivations, specifically his falling out with Ben Solo and how it happens. I feel like it really redeems the film. Well, that's really cool. That's really cool. Be careful where you post that, though, because obviously, it might be taken down. I'm thinking of actually doing a Last Jedi video to sort of wrap up this whole thing, because Wait, we're back? We are back. There was a bit of a hiccup there. I don't know why it's doing that. Anyway, I'm thinking about sort of wrapping it all up, because there's been times where I've wanted to get into The Last Jedi again in my Rise of Skywalker videos, and I hold myself back because I want to sort of keep focus on Rise of Skywalker. But I'm thinking about doing a video very soon where I sort of just wrap all this up and... oh, wait, another issue there. It's strange. Okay, we're still live though, and talk about that because I think it's an important thing to kind of just, talk about the issues and why. Even though I've done it sort of before, but now that I've had a couple years to really sit on it and think about it, I think I could articulate even better than I did the first time I saw TLJ. So I'm thinking about doing that as well. And also, let me see here. D Infinity says, Dave, do you have a best friend? I do. My best friend. Well, I have several, but I would say my bestest friend in terms of the longest that I've had would be my buddy Bruce. I've known him for, this year will be 28 years. I've known him since 1992 when I was 13 and he was 12. We met in grade school. So, and we were into making home movies and amateur movies when we were teenagers, and now we're here in Toronto, the third largest market in North America for film and TV and all that kind of stuff. And we're involved in the industry. So it's really cool to kind of have that friend and have that history and that growth. And now we're actually kind of doing it. And it's really cool. So yes, he would be my best friend, but my other two best friends for sure. And I would be remiss if I did not mention them because obviously I grew up with them, and because Bruce and I didn't go to the same high school. He went to sort of an arts high school, and I went to just a regular public high school. But my two best friends that I had in high school, were my buddies Brian and Evan, who I still know today, who I still talk to today. Not as much as I talk to Bruce because Bruce lives here in Toronto, but my buddies Brian and Evan live in Ottawa. So I don't talk to them or see them as much as I would love to, unfortunately. But yes, those would be my best friends. Let me see. Boogeyman01 says, have you heard about Taking Shape, developing Halloween from script to screen book? I have. Yes, I haven't read it. But I am aware that it is out, and I'd be very curious to check that out. Yeah, I might have to check that out. The Manhammer AR-15 says Star Wars needs to go away. Also, superhero movies. They're so... Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think they need to go away. I just think that we are... I agree that we are saturated with it. And everything runs its course. And, eventually... superhero films will run its course as well. But what's likely to happen in that time, because technology is expanding exponentially, is we are more likely to, before superhero films or Star Wars go away forever, because they never will, how we consume our entertainment is going to change. So it's just how they're presented to us is just going to evolve. And VR is essentially the next phase. We already know that James Cameron, now whether this technology will be available for Avatar 2 is yet to be seen. But I know that because he is not just a filmmaker, he invents things. He's an inventor. He's like Lucas in that regard, and I know that he had been working on or looking into the technology about 3D technology that doesn't require glasses, So it's just that kind of thing where the evolution of how we consume our entertainment is just going to continue to change. So in another 40 years, it'll be likely that you'll be able to participate in the movie you'll be a character in the movie. You'll be able to put some goggles on or put a chip in, on the side of your head or something and close your eyes, and all of a sudden you're a character in the movie. I know it sounds really futuristic and insane, but we're not going to be, listen, watching a movie on this, watching television, okay? If you had said to somebody in 1961, you're going to be able to watch a movie in bed on this, that would have seemed ridiculous. That would have seemed to 1960s, society, just as you're going to be able to put a chip on the side of your head, close your eyes. And you see this kind of shit in science, fiction all the time, in Black Mirror and all that kind of stuff. But it's going to come. It's going to come. It is. So I think that's more likely because technology is expanding exponentially, which just simply means that it's we're getting further ahead more quickly. Okay, so we're all this shit that we're getting is happening at a faster rate than it ever has before, and it will continue to happen faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. So it's that's what I think is going to happen. That's what I think. Deadshot Ninja says, "Hey Dave, can you come to Chicago?" Well, if there's a reason for me to go to Chicago, I would come to Chicago. Yes. But, if somebody wants me to come to Chicago and they want to pay my flight and hotel and maybe it's for a convention or something or a meet and greet or I don't know, for work. I'm not just going to come to Chicago for no reason, though. Let me see here. Michael Rojas. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Rojas? What do you think of Scream 5, and do you think Halloween Kills will be better than Halloween 2018? Scream 5, I couldn't care less. I liked the original Scream. I thought it was a great movie. It was like you heard me say on Two Dudes and Some Bullshit the other day, it was borderline spoofy. It's almost satire in some ways. It's a very self-aware film. It's poking fun of itself while still telling a serious sort of kind of film story. So I like that movie. I think the novelty and shtick and gimmick of Scream wore off as the sequels were made, because I think it's really more of a one-trick pony. It's not that I didn't find enjoyment out of the second film or the third film or the fourth film, but it ran its course for me. So when I hear that they're doing a Scream 5 because they see now that it's been essentially almost 10 years since the fourth film, technology has expanded, we have smartphones like we did in 2011 as well, but in terms of the technology and the apps and the clouds and how we consume our, certainly there are many ways they can utilize today's technology to deliver a Scream film. And will it be good? Yeah, it might be. It might be really cool. But am I excited about it? No, not particularly, because I just don't care about Scream anymore. I just think it's served its purpose. Do I think Halloween Kills will be better than 2018? I think more people will like Halloween Kills than they liked. I think more people will like Halloween Kills than they liked Halloween 2018. And I think that's just simple psychology, really, at the end of the day. Unless it's a really fucking shitty movie. Unless it's really bad, right? Objectively, as objectively as you can be with this kind of thing. It's just kind of what the fuck was that? That was just awful, right? Unless it's, really bad. But if it's on par, if it's at the very least just as good in terms of quality, it's just as good as the 2018 film, I think more people will like it. And that's just simply because you sort of know what to expect now. Because it's no longer a sequel to the 1978 movie, it's a sequel to the 2018 movie. So we know David Gordon Green's style. We know his directing style when it comes to Michael, the directing sensibilities, how he utilizes the shape. So we sort of know what to expect. And I think it will be gorier. I think it will be bloodier because obviously it is a sequel, and usually with sequels they amp it up a bit, but also it's a film called Halloween Kills. And I think David Gordon Green also feels a bit liberated. He doesn't feel sort of tied to delivering things that Carpenter did or the style, which I think he should have done, because the style that Carpenter implemented into the character of Michael is part of his MO. It's part of the character. But anyway, that's a whole other tangent I can go into. But yes, I think the probability is higher that if you were not crazy on the 2018 film like me, I think I have a feeling I'm going to enjoy the second film more. Not because it's going to be a, holy fuck, that was amazing. No, not because of that, but just because, okay, I'm sort of like, all right, I kind of know what I'm going to get here. Okay. And I'll walk out going, yeah, it was fun. It's fine. I have a feeling that's what's going to happen, but we'll see. We'll see. Boogeyman01 follows up with, are you going to make a video about a new Black Christmas movie? Oh, the new Black Christmas movie? I am going, yes, I do want to make a video where I'm talking about that, because that is, I have some things I want to say on Blumhouse's Black Christmas, but in a professional, mature way. I'm not here to call anybody out. I'm not here to make fun of anybody. I'm not here to say that they shouldn't have done this, that, or the other. I have some thoughts on it and the approach that they took, but I think we're all adults and we can have a mature conversation about it, and that's how I'm going to approach that video when I get around to it. But of course, the holidays have been very busy. It's January 1st. The holidays are winding down. I want to. I was just saying that I've been very busy. But the holidays are finally winding down, and hopefully I'll be able to get to that maybe this week. Did I miss a super chat? I always get worried that I miss them. No, I did not miss a super chat. Okay, good. And again, as usual, folks, if I don't get to your question, it's nothing personal. It's just, of course, with a lot of people in the chat room, I can't get to everybody, but I do the best I can. Cove says, do you like Shutter Island? I love Shutter Island. Shutter Island definitely is one of my favorite psychological thrillers of all time. I love that movie. Let's see here. Michelle Lars says, I'm looking forward to Halloween Kills. Yeah, a lot of people are. It's coming out, October 19th, I think? Something like that. Still a little bit away, but it's coming. It's coming. Craig Roth says, did he not just burn to death? Did he not just burn to death? Oh, you mean Michael Myers? I see what you're saying. No, apparently not. They can bring back anybody, anytime, anywhere. They can just bring back anybody. Quinn Music says, what do you think about Star Wars Revenge of the Sith? I would like to see you make a video ranking all the Star Wars movies. Well, I probably wouldn't rank all the Star Wars movies because to do it justice, I would have to watch them all again. I haven't watched the prequels in probably 10 years because I don't care for them. So I remember my first initial thoughts, but to do the list justice, I would have to watch them all again to see if my feelings have changed, to give an accurate reading from my perspective. And I have no interest in doing that. But I certainly could make a list. I could preface the video and, with that, and I could say, here's my list based on from what I remember. Revenge of the Sith, I liked, but that's not saying much because it's the best film of the prequels. So it's like, do you want a shit pizza or do you want a shit sandwich? Well, okay, I'll take the shit sandwich because I don't have to eat as much shit, but it's still not a great movie. It's great in the sense that we finally get to see Darth Vader become Darth Vader, right? It's darker, the choreography with the lightsaber it's always great, right? It's great to see his fall to the dark side. It's cool. It's cool to see that ending with Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru and bookends everything, and yes, but it's the better film of the prequels, but it's not. I don't think it's a great movie in my opinion. But I didn't grow up with the prequels. I mean, when Revenge of the Sith came out, I mean, I was 26, so I was heading towards my 30s, right? I mean, but I did see them all in the theater. And I've seen every Star Wars movie in the theater, actually, including the originals. Now, I didn't get a chance to see the originals when they were first released. Obviously, I wasn't born until 1979, and I was too young to see Empire. I mean, I would have been a baby, and I was old enough to see Return of the Jedi, but I didn't, not that I remember. But when the special editions came out, although they're the special editions, I did make it a point to go and see them in the theater so I could at least have said I've seen the originals in the theater from a certain point of view at the very least. But yeah, so but to rank them all, I don't think I need to do a video on that. I could just make a social media post, probably, is what I would do. Yeah, I'll probably make a social media post soon and rank the Star Wars films. But a video, I don't know if I'll do a video on that. Let me see. Jackie Tang says, are you going to do a spinoff of the friendship destroyed over... Oh, I see. I'll probably do another one. I'll probably do an update. I should have done one over the holidays when it comes to Black Christmas. Maybe I could still do it. Yes, I'm definitely going to do another one because people seem to really like that character where the friendship is, it's where I'm talking on the phone. I'm like, hey man, go fuck you, man. Come on. It's on my channel. Yes, I definitely think I will do that at some point. Michael Martinez says, hey everyone, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too. Happy New Year to you too, buddy. Happy New Year to you too, buddy. Michael Meyer says, do you think you'll ever get into superhero films in the future? Well, no, probably not. Now, when I say I'm not into superhero films, what I mean by that is I don't have an emotional attachment to them. It's not something I grew up with. It's not, I didn't read comics. I mean, I'm very, like, I'll always be into like a Superman film or a Batman film or a Spider-Man film because those are sort of the staples, right? Like every kid, whether you were into them or not, knows about Superman or Batman or Spider-Man, Wonder Woman to a certain extent, right? We all know those characters. But when it comes to the more broader characters like Black Adam or, Black Widow or Shazam or, now mind you, I saw Shazam in the theater. I went to the theater to see that and I really enjoyed it because I thought it looked fun. It looked like a fun movie and it was. I enjoyed it. But your staples I'll always go see because they're your staples. They're like mythic. They're legendary, But when it comes to the broader mythology, the broader universe, and all the ins and outs of Thor, and like I just learned like last year that Thor is the only one technically that can pick up his hammer. Like I had no idea. I didn't know about that. Now that might surprise, what? You didn't, but I didn't grow up with this shit, so I didn't know. So I couldn't care less whether I watch a Thor movie or not, because I was aware of Thor, mostly thanks to Adventures in Babysitting. You guys remember that film, right? From 1987? That's really where I learned about Thor. I was like, who's this Thor? And I think like a little, my best friend at the time, I think was like, you haven't heard Thor? I got his action figure. And it was like this so cool action figure. And he was telling me about Thor. I had no idea what Thor was. So when it comes to like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, there's no doubt I can enjoy the movies for what they are. But I would be like somebody who enjoyed The Last Jedi for what it was. And then it's like, how can you fucking, like, you don't understand? What are you talking about? This? How do you not like what is going on? Because they know all the details of everything that brings together, right? Whereas I'm just somebody that's just like, yeah, I thought that was fun. How do you think it's fun? It's impossible. I'm one of those people when it comes to superhero films. So I respect them. I know that they are the Star Wars of today, and certainly they've made billions and billions of dollars, and a lot of people love them. And I think that's awesome. It's great. I want superhero films to do well because it's great for cinema. It's great for movies. It's great for the entertainment industry. So I always want them to succeed. But I just, like I've probably seen maybe 3 or 4 Marvel films. I mean, out of the cinematic, like the MCU, there's like 22 films. I've seen maybe 4 of them. It's not because I don't think they look good. It's just because I'm not into it. So I'm not rushing to see it. But if my buddy Bruce came over, who is into it, who was like, dude, you want to sit down and watch, I don't know, Suicide Squad or whatever? I'd be like, yeah, okay, sure. Okay, sure. But I could take it or leave it. Now, Suicide Squad, the first one, was shot here in Toronto. And I actually went down when they were shooting it. A buddy of mine was a PA on it, and I went down and when they were shooting the chase scene with Batman on the car, I got to go down and watch them do that. Now, there were a lot of people that were watching them do that. It's not like I got secret, VIP access because they're shooting in the middle of downtown Toronto. There were a lot of people that were getting a chance to see it. But it was cool because I was able to get to a certain vantage point where nobody was. And that was really cool. So I was like, but I was all into that. I brought my camera down. I was taking photos and shit. I still have them. I should probably share them. But it was cool to watch them doing that because it was just awesome. I didn't care what the fuck they're shooting. It was just awesome seeing it. I was into, I was asked all sorts of questions. I was talking to this one PA that was there, and he was telling me about shit and what was going on. It was a lot of fun. So anyway, I could yap about that, but I'm always down for watching one. It's just I haven't allowed myself to get invested yet. Bianca Santos says, what are you excited to see come from Dylan's new nightmare? Well, I'm excited to play Freddy. And I'm excited to work with Miko and work with Cecil and Vince and Renee and everybody who's going to be involved in that film. And just to bring a fan film to the table that says, look what, can be done. Look at the level that we are taking it to. Nora as well. I can't wait to work. She's a doll. I love her. She was so funny and so accommodating and professional. And her girlfriend, her fiance, I believe, Rachel, I think her name was, just as lovely. And everybody was great. Like we all hit it off. There's a connection. There's chemistry. Whenever you can get into a room with fellow creatives and working at the same level and working towards a single goal, and you mesh well and you're open to ideas, and it's just, I'm looking forward to just working with everybody and solidifying those connections. That's really exciting to me. And then of course also doing the best I can to bring Freddy to the screen, but again, to bring my version of it, right? And we also have to remember too that it is the version from New Nightmare. So it's the entity that is Freddy Krueger. So it's not the Freddy Krueger from the films, although there is going to be that angle to it. You are going to be like, oh, that's totally Freddy. But there's a level of intensity there too that is very much like the Freddy from New Nightmare. Because that's what this is a sequel to. So I'm looking forward to just bringing this to the screen and showing you guys, what we can do. And I think it's important because we're not going to please everybody. Listen, there are going to be people that are going to like the movie that are not going to like the movie. There's going to be people that are going to look at my performance and be like, fucking yes, McRae knocked it out of the fucking park, right? Yeah, it's going to happen. And then there are going to be people that are going to be like, fuck, nah, didn't like it, didn't work for me, fuck, shit, fucking shit. It's going to happen. So you can't worry about that. You just got to go out and do the best you can. My goal is to have you look at me as Freddy and be like, okay, yeah, that's Freddy. It might not be Robert Englund, but it's totally Freddy. And I think with Nora Hewitt as my makeup artist, who's going to be applying the prosthetics on my face for 4.5-5 hours every day while shooting. Guys, this is going to look spectacular. It's going to look spectacular, and I'm going to lose myself in the role. And it's great. It's great. I mean, I'm a voice actor, but I also have on-camera acting experience as well. That's how I started out. I came from the theater. I've done docudramas. I've done commercials. It's just I fell into the VO side and it took off. So I have a diploma in acting. I studied acting. So I am very much looking forward to losing myself in this role and having the makeup on and just delivering something you guys can be proud of. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. And but you can't please everybody. You can't please everybody. And why would you want to, right? There's got to be somebody out there that's got to go, fucking shit! I fucking hate it! I love you guys. I like this name. The Conspiracy Trifecta. When he talks about the new one, he should complain about how they look away the damn brother-sister story arc, the French... Oh, are you talking to somebody else? I'm not quite sure if that's a question or a statement. It's more like a statement. E_S18 says, Dave, do you have a favorite movie trilogy? Well, the original Star Wars trilogy, for sure. And probably the original Indiana Jones trilogy. Probably those two. Yeah, would be, I know I've so dated myself, but that would be it. That would be it for me, for sure. Rick Michael says, I'm excited for It's Me, Billy. Yes, It's Me, Billy. For those of you that don't know, I'm going to be plugging this until the cows come home, until the movie's up online in a long time from now. I am currently in the end stages of development and moving into pre-production this year. I can finally say this year, on a Black Christmas fan film, high production value, Black Christmas fan film entitled It's Me, Billy. So for all you folks out there that were disappointed with Blumhouse's Black Christmas, do not fret. we have a fan film coming from myself and my buddy Bruce. The script is done. It's a short film, not a feature-length film. Short films are always easier to accomplish. Not easy, easier to accomplish and less expensive, but not inexpensive. So just keep that in mind. So we are looking forward to the script is done. And I'm getting together with Bruce this weekend to start breaking down the script and begin the process of working on a budget and also the Indiegogo campaign. Now, the Indiegogo campaign is not ready to launch. That will probably launch somewhere in the spring. But we are breaking all this down. And again, I don't know what the budget will end up being for it, but the ballpark is probably between $25,000-$30,000. And if we want to, and hopefully we'll be able to raise that because we want to deliver, something that you guys can be proud of, the Black Christmas fans can be proud of. And there's still some things I got to work out in terms of the logistics of the production, because there's certain set pieces, let's say, that I want to be able to lock down. But it's, my fingers are crossed. We're very excited to be able to do this, and it's just exciting. So if you want to follow and keep up to date, there's a link in the description to the official It's Me Billy Facebook page. If you have Facebook, click that link below, like it, share it with anybody you think would be interested, because that's where I will post updates to It's Me Billy. I will post it across my social media, but you're likely to get it there first. So if you want to be the first to know, that's where you're going to get it. So I'm excited about it. I just think it's going to, the script we've written is like, like it pays honor to the original, while also being a unofficial sequel to the original. So we are actually pushing the narrative forward. So it's not a remake, it's not a reboot, it is an unofficial sequel set about 45 years later. And we cracked the code of how to do that. So we're very excited about it. And thank you for asking, by the way. Now, when it's gonna come out, I don't know. I mean, ideally, we are looking to shoot later this year, probably in the fall, early winter. But it may not be out until 2021 because that's just sort of, we're really taking our time with it. We want to deliver on this. And obviously working in the film industry here in Toronto with Bruce, we have certain connections and certain access to certain things that can definitely help. So we want to be able to take our time, not rush it, raise the money we need, because it's not just for ourselves, but it's for you guys. Like, we want to deliver, like, the never hike alone of Black Christmas kind of thing, right? So that's important to us. So we're excited about that. Let me see here. Was there a super chat? There was! Ethan LeBlanc. Thank you, buddy. Much appreciated. I can see it now. Quote, Dave McRae becomes mass murderer after losing himself in his iconic Freddy. Oh, God, that would be awful. Those headlines would be awful. Oh, that'd be awful. The nice Canadian suddenly loses himself in the... I'm excited. Like, I really am excited to like, when Cecil told me, because we could have gone the... silicone mask route. And those Freddy silicone masks, like, I'm not knocking them, guys. They are spectacular. And for just a fan film, or even for a high-end fan film, depending on the lighting, depending on the shadows, depending on how you shoot it, I mean, it can be spectacular. But when Cecil said, we have a special effects makeup artist who won season 9 of Face Off, who's working in Hollywood, she's on board, Nora Hewitt, we got to take advantage of this. And it's going to pay off when we do close-ups, because when you wear a silicone mask, you sacrifice a lot of reality when you start doing close-ups, because then you can tell that you can kind of tell where the mask ends and your face would begin. When you do actual makeup prosthetics, it's like it's your face. It's your face. So all those nuances and tiny details of your lips and the teeth and everything, it just is like, it looks like Robert Englund. That's what it's going to look like. It's going to look as realistic as what he looks like. So I was like, oh, he's like, do you mind? I was like, do I mind? Are you kidding me? He's like, have you ever had that? I was like, no, let's fucking do it. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Are you kidding me? Let's do it. You understand? It's going to be like 4 or 5 hours every day. I'm like, let's do it. So I'm really excited about that. I was all in before, but I was even more in when I was like, Nora Hewitt's going to be doing, let's fucking do it. Let's do it. All right, we'll go to 6 o'clock. We'll go till 6 o'clock. What are we, an hour 6? Yeah, we'll go to 6 o'clock. That's almost like an hour and a half. Just want to say, hey, 167 people watching. Happy New Year to each and every one of you. 2020 is here. Hard to believe. Dan-tastic has sent in a super chat. Thank you, Dan-tastic. Much appreciated. Says, hey, Dave, I hope you're having a happy new year. Cannot wait for your fan film. Thank you. I feel like this might be a dream for you since you have always shown interest in playing the title character. You know what? It is, the ultimate dream would be to play Freddy, like Freddy, you know, but not to minimize this. This is, in and of itself, yeah, it's a bit of a dream. And the reason why is because of the talent involved, you know, and that was what really sold me on it. You know, Cecil, I met at the Halloween 40th anniversary convention, and we hit it off right away. And obviously, you know, his knowledge and his passion and the script, and then bringing Renee on board, and then bringing Vince on board, and then bringing Miko on board, you know, it helps to sell it, you know, because if Cecil had, because I don't know him, you know, extremely well, if Cecil had said, listen, I'm thinking about doing this Friday the 3rd, or this Elm Street fan film, we want you to play Freddy, do you want to do it? Well, I don't know, right? Like, I don't know if I want to do it. I mean, what's the production value going to be like? You know, is it worth my time? You know, is it, you know, who's involved? You know, because what's important is that, you know, and anybody knows this, you don't have to work in the entertainment industry to know this, but, you know, when somebody asks something of you and you're going to do something that's going to be out there, it's your reputation on the line. Right? And as a professional working in the industry, whatever your industry is, right? When somebody asks you of something, you're like, okay, well, you know, I've got to, you know, it's my rep here, right? And Miko, I think, had the same sort of response. He was like, well, do I want, like, who are these people? Like, that sounds cool, but who are these people? Who's involved? And Cecil did a really great job. He's very talented himself, but he did a really great job on selling the talent involved as well. And that's what sold me on it. And I was like, all right, you know, I'm in like this. So the probability then goes up that, you know, it's going to be really good, right? And it's something we can be proud of. Even if there's people that love it and people that don't love it, that's par for the course. There's always going to be people that like what you do and don't like what you do. That never should be, whether people are going to like or dislike something, unless it is absolutely something you can pretty much objectively say is garbage. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's universally agreed upon that this is probably a really shitty decision. But at the end of the day, whether people like it or not should never factor in, because there's always going to be people that like what you do and don't like what you do. It's the talent involved. It's the passion involved. It's the belief involved. It's the creativity involved. It's the probability involved. And so, yeah, in that sense, it is it's really cool. And then then it gives me an opportunity to show what I can do with Freddy. And who knows where that leads to, right? You never know, you know? And so that's always fun. That's always fun. So yeah, 100%. Thank you for the question and the super chat. Another super chat from David Lee Barron. Thank you, buddy. Says, did you enjoy the E.T. sequel short film? They brought back the original actor who played Elliot. I did. I thought it was cute. It was a short film / commercial, right? I thought it was cute. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I liked it. For those of you that haven't seen it, and maybe you're big fans of E.T., go watch that, because just YouTube, you know, E.T. sequel. It'll pop up. It's a commercial for, what is it for? Google Home or Alexa or something, or Portal or something. I think it's a super chat. It's a commercial for some sort of connecting device, right? Like across the world or something, like you're always connected. Skype? I can't remember. Anyway, it's a commercial, but it's like a 3-4 minute short film or something as well. It's an unofficial sequel. I guess it kind of is an official sequel now to E.T., which is, it's cute. But it doesn't impede on the legacy of E.T. because it's not really a sequel, right? It's a commercial. It's fun. It's just to be taken all in good fun. So it's cute for sure. Another super chat from iReggun9. Thank you very much, buddy. Says, with what was raised during the campaign, how long do you think Dylan's new nightmare will be? Cecil said the length could vary, so I'm curious. Well, Cecil's right. When you write a script, and this is ballpark, because this is, you have to take into consideration, there's many factors that can dictate the length of something. But the ballpark, the rule of thumb is a minute a page. So a page of script is about a minute on screen. Now, that's not a hard, fast rule. I mean, that it depends on how much action is on a page, how much dialogue is on a page, how much nuance, that the director and the DP implement when shooting the scene and in post-production as well, how long they decide to linger on a shot, how quickly they decide to move away from a shot, like all that stuff, right? But generally speaking, it's a minute a page. So, I believe Cecil's script is 22 pages. So it'll probably be at least 22 minutes long. But that doesn't factor in all the nuance and the details and the subtleties that Renee as the DP and Cecil as the director are going to, implement when they're on set. How long do we milk this shot for? Oh, let's move it. And then when they get into editing as well, right? So Cecil has said that it'll probably be anywhere between 25 and 30 minutes. And I think that's probably about right. With It's Me, Billy, for example, our script is, it's done. It's about 20 pages long. So that would be about a 20-minute movie, at least, right? But, with a film like Black Christmas and the kind of director that I am and how I like to, I like slow burns and kind of milk certain things and speed up certain things here. And who knows what's going to happen in the edit. My film too will probably be anywhere between 25, 30 minutes long. So Cecil's right, that the length will vary, but he has said to me, and I think he said even on the live stream I did with him and Miko, that it will probably be anywhere between 25, 30 minutes. And I think that's a good ballpark. And that's pretty good for a short film. It's pretty good. There's a lot you can do in 25, 30 minutes. It's a lot you can do in a 1-minute film. I've seen some amazing 1-minute films. All right, 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes on this Happy New Year's impromptu AMA. Wishing you guys a happy New Year's. You guys are awesome. Stuart Johnson says, have you seen Knives Out yet, Dave? I have seen Knives Out. Loved it. Thought it was fantastic. I made a tweet about it. I made a post about it on my social media. And I said that, Knives Out just further solidifies that Rian Johnson is an incredibly talented director and writer. He is. He absolutely is. He just has no business being near Star Wars. Or at least Rian Johnson's meta avant-garde approach to Star Wars just did not work when you are the second man in. He was the wrong choice, and it doesn't all fall on him because Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger let him do it. They approved it. They liked it. They let him do it. But everything he did, you've heard me say it. It was like JJ set it up. He had a great first act. Rian Johnson came in and said, I don't like your first act. I don't like your villain. I don't like this. I don't like that. So I'm going to set it up again. And it's like, well, so what the hell, where the hell does that leave us? He's extremely talented, but I don't know what the hell he was doing. And it's not, again, it has nothing to do with 40-year-old fanboy expectations. I am planning on doing a video closing this Last Jedi debate for me. I mean, obviously there are people that love the movie and that's great, but I think he's talented and I love Knives Out. I thought it was great. Went to see it in the theater with my girlfriend back in November, I guess. And we thought it was great. We thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm going to get it when it comes out because I'm a physical media kind of guy. So when it comes out on Blu-ray, I'm definitely going to purchase it. Let me see here. William Long says, I have no real insight into the industry aspect of film, so take my opinion for how little it's worth. That's okay. But Black Christmas 2019 seemed rushed into production and dead on arrival a la Halloween 5. Well, you're probably not wrong. It was rushed into production. I believe it was greenlit just this past spring. And it was rushed into production. I believe even the director, Sophia Takal, if I'm saying her last name correctly, she admitted as much. She said that it was all, it was a very, now that doesn't necessarily mean in and of itself that a movie is going to be poor. There have been many films that have been rushed into production that have turned out pretty good. But certainly it is advantageous that you don't do that. It's one of the reasons why Bruce and I are taking our time with It's Me, Billy. Now, we're not, sitting around doing nothing, but we want to make sure that we do it right, because that's important to the quality of the film. So, yeah, I mean, I have not yet seen it, but I know a lot of people who've shared things. I feel like I've seen it because of how much I know about it. I think there was a bit of a hiccup there in the feed. So let me just say that again. I've yet to see it, but I do know a lot of people who have seen it, and they've told me so much about it that I feel like I have seen it. So I do have a lot of thoughts I want to say on the matter, and it's just it's unfortunate, but Blumhouse, I think, made a big mistake, not just in releasing it as quickly as they did, but the content involved. I think they did themselves a disservice. I really do. All right, 8 more minutes. 8 more minutes. Did I miss a super chat? I did not. Let's see here. Oliver Mercer says, "Hey Dave, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. How would I want Halloween Kills to end? Leading it to ends. Halloween Kills, I want to end on a massive cliffhanger. A massive, epic cliffhanger. A cliffhanger that we have not seen before. A cliffhanger where we leave the movie theater going, holy snap and crap, did you fucking see that? What the fuck? I want that kind of a cliffhanger. I want to leave the theater going, holy shit. That was awesome. I don't think that's going to happen, but that is actually what I would love to see. And now the anticipation for Halloween Ends a year later is like, whoa, that's what I want to see. I'd love to see that. I don't know if we're going to get it, but that's what I'd love to see. Let's see here. The Horror Junkie 78 says most anticipated film of 2020. I talked about that earlier, buddy. Ghostbusters, absolutely. Halloween Kills is, but it's not like I'm not over the moon about it because I wasn't a huge fan of the 2018 film. But anytime there's a Halloween movie, I'm excited to see what they do with it, for better or worse. Definitely that. But I'd have to look at a list. But definitely, I'm really looking forward to Ghostbusters Afterlife because I want to see what they do, right? I want to see what they do. Neil Rook says, what's your favorite snacks to have at the cinema? I like M&M's and Pepsi Max. Happy New Year from England. Happy New Year to all my British family. For those of you that may not know, I am half British. Literally, my mother was born in England. So first generation, essentially. She came to Canada in 1956 when she was 12 years old. So I am definitely British. Sorry, and you. My favorite snacks. You know what? I got to be honest with you, Neil. I don't buy snacks a lot at the movie theater. I probably haven't had popcorn at the movie theater in years, maybe 20 years. And I don't buy pop, as we say here in Canada, or soda for my American friends. Don't buy a lot of that. But every now and then I will buy like candy. They have like, the candy, you put like a quarter in, you can get like a little cup full of candy, like sour candy or sweet tarts or like things like that. I'll sometimes do, but I'd say 95% of the time I walk into theater without anything, which is weird, but it's like I'm there on business. Like, no, fuck, I'm in the zone. I'm in the zone. Although I will admit, when I saw The Rise of Skywalker, I snuck in a little bag of Cheezies, or Cheetos, as the Americans know them as. Super chat from David Lee Barron. Thank you, buddy. Again, appreciate it. Says, will we ever see you and your girlfriend in a video together? Does she support you in your channel? You're probably not going to see her on the channel. No, she's more of a does her her own thing, but she's definitely a huge supporter of the channel. Yeah, she supports what I do in my career, and yeah, she's a big supporter of it. And if it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing in terms of this channel. Oh, you know what? I just noticed. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there we go. Okay, I thought my camera had fallen there for a minute. Yeah, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have probably... I mean, I've had this channel since 2006. I was one of the first people to get a YouTube channel, but I just used my channel for the little Halloween shit that, you know, I've always done. For those of you that have been following me for, you know, years and years. But then when it was announced that there was a new Halloween movie coming in 2016, and that John Carpenter was going to be involved, and I had all these things I was saying, and I was talking to her about it and talking to her about all these thoughts and all this kind of stuff. And she said, you know, you should get on there and talk about this because you have a lot to say. And I think what it was, what got me really doing it was I was watching other videos of people talking about Halloween. Great stuff, great shit. But I had insights and things that I wanted to say or points that I wanted to make that I didn't see anybody talking about. And that doesn't mean that they didn't think them themselves, or that there weren't people that were. Just in the videos that I was seeing, I didn't see anybody talking about these points or these insights. And then it really made me feel like I had something I wanted to say. So it was her that was like, you got to get on there and you got to talk about this. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to do it. And then it started out as just my phone. I just used and not even that phone, as my old phone, which is just sitting over there. I took my phone, I plopped it in front of me here, and I wasn't using my mic here that I use now, which is not the mic, by the way. I don't use this mic for my professional voiceovers. That's in my booth over there. I have a booth. Let me show you. Can I show you guys? I have a walk-in closet. Camera 2. There we go. Camera 2. Right here. That's a walk-in closet that I've turned into a booth. So that is my voiceover booth in there. And the reason why it's all black is because it's actually all soundproof foam that is up in there. And that's where I go and actually record my professional voiceovers. So this camera, or this mic here, is just an Audio Technica 2020 Plus that I use for the videos. But what's cool is that when I first started, I was just using my phone and my phone's mic, and I was just uploading it from my phone to YouTube, just talking. I had no intro. I didn't have anything. I just was like, hey, what's going on? Talking. And people, for some reason, which I think is so great, really liked what I had to say. People really were able to connect somehow. Oh, wait, are we still streaming? Looked like there was a bit of a hiccup there. But people really felt that they were able to connect. And what I found was, which is really cool, is that the thoughts that I had and the insights that I had... Wait, are we back? We're back. The stream, for some reason, is messing up a little bit. Okay, I think we're back. What I found was that the thoughts that I had and the insights that I had, other people had too. And I think that by putting that out there, people were finding that, oh, you know, I can really connect with this guy, or he's thinking the same things I am, or he sees it the same way, you know, I do, which was really cool. So that was something that I really liked about being able to connect. I know that wasn't your question, but let's just say that yeah, she is a big supporter of the channel, and obviously if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be doing this YouTube thing. So that's really cool. Okay, couple more questions and then we'll call it a day. Kevin Bacon's Boner is here. I love it. Happy New Year, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Bacon's Boner is wishing you and yours a very happy New Year. Very happy New Year indeed. Okay, a couple more. Chastity Smith says, that Dave, have you seen the movie Peppermint? That's the one with Jennifer Garner, I believe, right? It's pretty good. And if so, what were your thoughts on it? Chastity, I have not seen it. I've not seen it. But I hear that it's actually a pretty decent action flick. You know, run-of-the-mill, standard, but pretty good. So I definitely will have to check that out for sure. Oh, you had intro music there. Oh, that's right. I forgot to turn the music off there. Oh my goodness. You're right. Hang on a sec. Let me do that. Let me go back to camera 2. You had intro music. Okay. Let me do this. There. You have no more intro music. There you go. I forgot I had intro music there. Yes. Okay, let me try that again for those of you that maybe couldn't hear me. This is a walk-in closet that I have turned into a voiceover booth. And that's where I record all of my professional stuff. And the reason why it looks black in there is because because of the soundproof foam that's on all the walls in there. So there we go. Yeah, sorry about that. I forgot that I had put music over here. All right, let's go back to the regular camera. Here we go. Here we are. All right. Cool stuff. Okay, folks, that is going to do it for me here on this live AMA. I think you guys are awesome. Thank you for tuning in. Everybody who tuned in, by the way, I really appreciate it. For those of you that sent in super chats, thank you very much. I appreciate you sending those in and for supporting the channel in that way. I think you guys are awesome. I want to wish each and every one of you a very happy new year. It's great to see all your faces and avatars here. It means that you survived New Year's. You didn't drink and drive. You didn't get into crazy accidents and lose your life and all that kind of shit. You are here, which is awesome. I think you guys are amazing. And I got some interesting, fun, and new things coming to the channel here in 2020. So I'm excited about it. And I hopefully you guys will be as well. And I do have some more videos coming. Just trying to get through the last remaining day of the holiday here on New Year's Day. So yeah, what do we got? Happy New Year. Have a great night. Yes, you too, Candace. You too, Ethan and David and Stuart and Jonathan. And I feel like this is Romper Room, and I should have a mirror. I see David and Stuart and Travis and Zach. I see everybody. All right. That's it for me. Have a great rest of the last day. Well, I guess for those of you that might be off work, well, I know the kids probably don't go back to school maybe till next Monday. It probably depends on the state. Maybe it depends on the where you are in the country. I know here that the kiddies are still on holidays and they don't go back till Monday. Maybe you're already back to work. I don't know. But enjoy the rest of your holiday, and I will talk to you guys soon. I'm telling you, it's going to be soon. We got some good stuff coming in 2020. All right. That's it for me. Happy New Year's, everybody. Talk to you guys soon. Cheers.